Hey y'all, I'm back again. Apologize for my light. The video I just did, I noticed there's shadows and stuff in it, but I'm posting it anyway. I tried to get my light a little bit better so there's not quite as many shadows. Right now I'm having to film, the sun's just gone down. And I want to get this done. I've already got the listings ready to go in the shop. And I finally finished these two journals, which I thought turned out really great. They're not, of course, they're not Christmassy, but, these would make great, this one right here would make a great baby book. And this one I think would be good for any purpose. It's a little more, it's kids, there's kids stuff in it. But I think it's a little more on the neutral sort of side of being able to use this in any manner. And this one could be as well, but I think this one would make a really super cute baby book. So I'm going to go through this. I'm going to go through the Mother Goose one first, and this is from the 40s, and this one is from the early 1900s. And I don't actually have, I bought this from my favorite little store probably over a year ago, and there are some pages from the book that I'm including in a extra packet for you to play with. But I didn't use actually any of the pages because they were just too fragile. But this cover was just in awesome shape. The front. Now the back I had to cover. I covered with paper. But just to give it some extra sturdiness, because the back was just, it was just pretty much plain chipboard. So I did cover the back. And then this one's in, but I'm pretty sure this one was from the early 1900s. I just don't have the exact date. Anyway, I'm going to go through that one last. So, let's see which. You'll get a packet. Okay, this one comes with the Mother Goose. You're going to get a journal sort of kit that's going to come with it. And there are several vintage laces in here, super pretty things, fabric pieces, some quilt pieces, scraps, things like that, and then some other fun stuff in here, and a bag of buttons with a little flower, one or two of my handmade buttons in there, just lots of fun stuff. I'm not going to go through all this, but this is going to come with the Mother Goose journal, and a very similar pack will come with the one syllable primer. All of the fabric and lace pieces are pretty much the same except one or two things, okay? So same amount of stuff is going to come with each one of them. So that out of the way. So the Mother Goose, and I did the charms different like I did the charm. I've added some ribbon and some vintage rickrack. Some sorry ribbon, some vintage rickrack, and then some just regular white ribbon. Almost kind of like a crinkly ribbon to this charm. I did not do that to the other one. I just added the charm to the book and then put the beads. So this one has, and like I said, I apologize for my lighting, but this one has some really pretty beads and vintage buttons and a butterfly charm, butterfly button, just really, really pretty pieces on here, okay? And then there's a little birdhouse. There's a little birdhouse tucked up in there too. You can see that. Just really pretty charm, but not so bulky that you can't add. You can add to that if you want to, And then there's some little silver beads attached to the sorry ribbon. And I made my usual tie that I've been doing, okay? And this is all quilt fabrics. A lot of these are feed sack fabrics in here. Just really, really pretty. So again, you can use it as a tie. You can cut it up, use it as tabs. However you wanna, whatever you wanna do with it. Okay. This book is 8 by 9.5. Okay, it's right at 8. You know, just like a 1/4 inch shy, not even a half of a 1/4 of an inch shy. So I'm gonna say 8 by 9.5, okay? And then this is feed sack fabric. You know, I had to, you know, build a spine. This is feed sack fabric that I got from Patty Lang when I was in Texas. The back of this book was torn up, so I took this Prima very thick cardstock ledger paper from Prima, and I stitched this on, okay, all around this book. I could not stitch through this here because it was too wide for my machine. And then I put the book corners, okay, but I stitched, you can see I stitched up through here and down here and across. So I used black stitching in this. Now, this cover has some wear, but it's still absolutely beautiful, you know. So it's kind of this faded sort of pink. But I love, you know, I've done some other Mother Goose books or some other, the poetry books by Rhonda Yeh, and the illustrations are just amazing. Now, in this book, this, just so you know, this spine is pretty flexible. So you can just do this right here. It's just really, really, it's packed full of fun stuff. Now, the other poetry books that I've had all the pages for them, and all the pages were in really super good shape. This one was not. So some of the pages are in here. Some of them have that really cool, you know, worn tape on them. Some of them I've put washi tape on to kind of keep them from tearing further. But not all of those pages are in here, but there's just a lot of fun stuff in here. And I kept the inside cover and the back cover with the images as the book was, okay? There's this one little place right here. Other than that, those two pages are in pretty good shape. But the back side was torn. It was like part of the cover was torn. So I had to fix that. So anyway, I think there's over 100 pages in here total. I did not count them all. I'll try to do that and add it to the listing. But if I don't, you can get an idea as I'm going through this. But it's definitely 100 pages or more, so that gives you 200 places. Lots of fun stuff in here. This is a beautiful, beautiful piece of a collar that I found at my favorite store, and I cut it up in pieces, and then I used it as a pocket. I just backed some linen, vintage linen behind it, so it gives you a double pocket here, okay? I didn't want to put pockets here because I just didn't want to cover this up. I just thought these were too cool. So put your pocket here. This is a little page from a Town Mouse, City Mouse little book that I made a tag out of, a little layaway tag. Similar to, this is set up very similar, or almost like the Mother Goose book I did for my granddaughter and the one I did for my future daughter-in-law that's getting ready to have the baby. So this is one of the pages from the book, and you can see the coloring on it. Use the washi tape to reinforce. You can see some of the original tape here. I put some fabric washi here. I just added a bunch of fun stuff in these little plastic sleeves for you to use. Some of my little hearts are in here as tabs. Use a little scrap piece of paper and stitch that down for some interest. This is a vintage wallpaper piece that I got from Johnny over at Junk Journal Shop. Tracing paper. Really old music book. I think I picked that one up from one of Brooke's sales. Tea-dye paper, ledger paper, a beautiful, beautiful linen napkin here on this beautiful paper. And I can't remember this paper line. It's double-sided paper, but then I put one of my little did a video with doing the little tags from the Beatrice Potter book pages. So I put one of those in here. But I think that's really cool. I thought the colors went really well together, and you can kind of see through that. So you can put whatever you want to in there. And then this is the middle of the signature. I added the buttons. I put the other side of the napkin here and stitched it up and added some fun stuff in there. Ledger, tea-dyed paper, music paper, and where things were more fragile, I reinforced with washi, okay? Tissue paper, another pocket with a bunch of fun stuff tucked in here. I don't want to show you everything because I want you to kind of be surprised if you purchase this journal. Just there's a bunch of stuff in here, okay? Pocket, the other side of this plastic sleeve with a bunch of fun little cards in here. This is another book page, and so it's kind of tearing over here, so just, and there's tape. You can see the tape here where the book was torn, and I added washi tape here. This was the original repair. I didn't do that, so just, you know, kind of be careful with these pages, but I think that just adds to it. It's just really cool, and if you want to, you know, you can always cut this out, okay, and put something else, you know, on here and use these images in another way if you want to do that. Totally up to whoever purchases this to what you want to do with it. So that's the first signature. And then I extended this page, you know, to make it a full page here. Same thing with this one. This is tea-dyed mixed media paper, so it's a thicker paper. More little photo sleeves with little cards in them. Another pocket with journaling cards. Another book page. Same thing here. There's some tape. Well, it looks like tape was there at one time. There's some tape here. Up at the top. Yeah, it's on the back here. So there's tape where somebody used tape to repair that there. Just some writing paper that's tea-dyed, scrapbook paper, and then just a little wallpaper flip that I stitched on. Some graph paper. Middle of this signature with the little buttons. And I did this, I kept it big on this side, and it kind of does this little kind of step, which gives you more room in here. You can always extend and add other things to this. Can't remember where this little piece came from. It's like a little journaling card with the heart paper clip, cardstock, another little pocket with some other little things tucked in here, and the other side of that kid book page. Really, really cute. Super cute. Would be a super, super cute baby book. This I just clipped in a little, there's a little cluster here that says sweetness with a little flower and a little bike. That's just clipped on there. It's not attached to this piece of paper that's in there, but you can add it if you want to. Filled you up the little slide sleeve with a bunch of little goodies you can use. So that is the second signature. This is the third signature. Another pocket with some vintage items in here, envelope. And then more scrapbook paper, the flip. Some more little, these are those little Prima Mother Goose cards, journaling cards. Vintage little card there. Printable. This little tag came from a scrapbook line. Another vintage card. More tracing paper. Another book page. This, I put washi here, a different washi here. There was some tape already here. Yeah, just really, this book was well loved. It's well loved. Another music. Just put some journaling cards in here. This is a tea-dyed music page. That's not the whole wear and tear on that. I did tea-dye that. Page from another Mother Goose book. No, was this Mother Goose? This was a music. This was a music book that somebody gifted me. Another kid's music book. It was really cute. This has a vintage piece of stationery in it with the butterflies. You know, you put the stamp on it. Another the book page, and you can see the tape here that was in there, and I had to, this tore after I put it in the book, so I had to come back here and put some washi tape to keep it from tearing any further. But that keeps it, that washi tape keeps it pretty sturdy there. So, you know, if you want to go back in on the edges of some of these pages that I didn't do that to, that might not be a bad idea. But just, you know, just be careful with it, you know. Don't be like me and be too heavy-handed. This is a whole nother little sleeve that's got, this is a vintage little bridge thing, I think. It's in here. Tally card, yeah. This is one of the little vintage tally cards. So there's lots of vintage mixed in with newer things. Dick and Jane page. And then that's the end of the third signature. And you can see when you push, you know, this lays flat. Lays very flat while you're, while you're working in it. But it's stuffed pretty full. This came from another vintage book, music book, Hansel and Gretel. Another tea-dyed thing, music page, made into a pocket. Or it's a tuck here. You can tuck things there. The way I stitched it here and here. So you can, things will hold up underneath there. I think this is the last of my little butterflies of that paper. That says Smile, Imagine, Create, Believe, Become. That I stitched on. I actually didn't stitch this to the page. I stitched this, but then I glued this to the page. The stitch is not on the other side. Some vintage library cards. Just lots and lots and lots of space in here. This came from, one of my favorite childcraft books. It's a file folder. I made a pocket here, put the buttons here, left this side plain. That for you to do what you want to do with it. Another tab here. One of my little hearts I made. Just a ton of fun stuff in here. Okay. It's really, really, really cute book. I love how this one turned out. If nobody's interested in it, nobody buys it, I may use it for another baby book. But I hope you guys love it. I hope somebody, I hope it will find its forever home. Because Lord knows I have plenty of stuff to make more books out of. So I really like this one. I thought it turned out super cute. So that's Mother Goose. And let me see where I am with time. I don't want you to have to watch it's going to be a long video because I'm going to go ahead and show you this one in here as well. So this is the primer one that I made, and this is very flexible as well. I made the flexible spine, and then I also had to cover the back of this one because it was, it was not in the greatest of shape. It was pretty much just raw chipboard, but the cover was just awesome. So here's the charm. It's got some pretty vintage buttons, and some of these beads are newer. Just really, really cute. Butterfly. Really pretty charm. And then the tie as well. This one does not have quite as many pages or the plastic sleeves because of the size of this book. Plastic sleeves really don't work well in here. I did do a slide page, a smaller one, because this book is 6.5 by 9 1/4. Okay, but you can see this cover. This cover's in amazing shape. But I did stitch, I stitched here all the way down here. I stitched all this on. Okay, and it's got 4 signatures. Flexible, very flexible. And it's covered, like you can see, when you can lay this flat, and it really lays nice and flat. Let me make sure I'm in frame still. Yeah. It really lays nice and flat, okay? I think there's probably at least 100 pages in here, maybe more like 80 to 90, but that still gives you lots of space. It's completely covered with this feed sack fabric on the inside, and you'll notice where the stitching stops here and here. That's because I had to put these on here, and I actually did that before I decided I was going to do this, okay? So, but anyway, but it's also glued in. It's not going anywhere, okay? So, and then I decided it was just a bit much, so I used this vintage, really pretty vintage linen with the, I don't know if that's, it says needlepoint flowers, and some other vintage trim, lace trim here. So that's what the pockets are made out of, okay? And then this little image and a little, these come in the photo book and photo boxes, you know. So it's got scrapbook paper, it's got pages from other readers in here, but like I said, the original pages from this book were too brittle, but you will get some of those original pages just to kind of play with in here. So I'm just going to kind of flip and not talk through the whole thing, just to give you an idea of what's in here. Some calligraphy paper, craft paper, pockets, ton of little things tucked in here. Some vintage, some not. Music, pockets, journaling cards, another pretty little book page that I just stitched in from a really old vintage book. Okay, so that's the first signature, second signature. This one I didn't do any tabs or anything like that in there. You're gonna get a whole box of goodies to, I mean a whole bag, not box, but a whole bag of goodies to play with, you know, fabrics and other pieces that are in here as well. So you'll have a lot of stuff to play with if you want to add tabs and things. This is another vintage, like vintage napkin, so to speak. Not napkin, oh my gosh. Like a lace napkin, really. You know, like a, yeah. Anyway, you know what I mean. So, this came from Childcraft book. I apologize, y'all. It's getting late. Well, it's not super late. I'm just getting tired. So, this is the other side of that vintage piece. Like a lace napkin. It's really pretty. It's got all these little flowers embroidered on it. Vintage ledger, tea-dyed cardstock. So that's the second signature, third signature. I tried to put some book pages from other kids' books, from other readers in here. And every signature. So here's I stitched this little slide piece on here and put a bunch of little fun stuff in here. A couple of my little hearts that I made for tabs, some handmade buttons, a couple of my handmade little scrappy flowers, another little tab, some other pretty little buttons that were gifted to me from one of my customers, a little crochet flower. So a bunch of little fun stuff in there for you to play with and use. Another Childcraft page, more ledger, some vintage wallpaper, scrapbook paper, more fun stuff in here, little flashcards, library card, little vintage playing card, wallpaper. And, you know, I intentionally left this one a little more blank. Not embellished for someone who wants to really, you know, who likes it that way. Not everybody, you know, not everybody likes them I'll embellish for them. They want to do that themselves. So I'm trying to keep a balance between that. But with this one, I really, other than making the pockets and putting new embellishments and things in here and adding the buttons, the charm, you know, the basics for you to start with, I didn't do, you know, some of the embellishing that I normally do. But there's a ton of space. Really cute book. Again, I think this would make a great just journal, like everyday journal, if you just love this kind of stuff. Here's another little golden book page. Oh, that was cute, from another little golden book. And lots of fun stuff in here. Just lots of fun stuff to play with. Okay, so if you're interested, it'll be in my Etsy shop when you see this video. So go over there and check it out. Let me know what you guys think. If you really like these, if, you know, have a favorite, or, you know, just let me know. Y'all know what I mean. Be nice. But anyway, and don't forget, you'll get, you know, this is the pack that comes with this book, and this is the pack that comes with this book. So you can see they're very similar, okay? Only some of the extra pages in here are different, because there's book pages from this book in here, okay? So thank you again for watching. I appreciate you guys. I love you all. Thank you again for all your love and support. And I hope everybody's doing well, and I'll see you soon. Hopefully I'll get the snowman one finished before Christmas. Anyway, see you later. Bye.